this. Here we go.
Cannot give you back your homes or restore your dead to life, but perhaps I can give you justice in the name of our King.
I am the king!
Hold on.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win, or you die. There is no middle ground.
Yo, what's up, everybody? We just finished up episode 2 of season 7, Game of Thrones. I'm with my 2 co-hosts, the Filthy Mouth Gamer.
Theon gets his dick cut off, and now he's a full-grown fairy.
Yeah, and I'm also with Tiffany from That Ass Podcast here on YouTube.
What's up?
And we all just watched the second episode of season 7. Pretty good episode, man. I gotta say, for a second episode into the season, you know,
is it ever really bad if you really think about it?
You know, sometimes it doesn't have that much action in it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of, and don't get me wrong, I don't mind that because a lot of the episodes are setting stuff up and finalizing things, and you know,
not only that, the dialogue in the show is the greatest dialogue in any show I've ever seen.
It really is, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I thought before, like when I was watching it, every Sunday night at 9 o'clock is something special on HBO for years now. You had The Sopranos in the early 2000s, going all the way to like 5-6 years ago. Now, Game of Thrones came on almost at the end of The Sopranos, and it's like HBO just finds these fucking great shows, and this show delivers all the time, man. It really does.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that I'm always like screaming at the television because it's just insane.
Yeah, tonight's episode was awesome. A lot of cool shit going on. It was crazy to see what happened at the end there with the them destroying the fucking fleet, man. That's like, that dude came down on that fucking arm like, right. You know, like holy shit, man. That was some impressive shit, man. Like, that guy, you might not like him, what he's doing, because he's a fucking piece of shit. Give a kiss for Uncle. You know, like, what the fuck, man? That dude's sick.
The thing with Euron Greyjoy is that there's another character that's not in the show that's in the books, and I think they mixed these 2 characters into Euron. There's another character, Victarion Greyjoy, who's like the fucking nastiest motherfucker as far as the Greyjoys. Yeah. And there's a scene in the books that happens like this, like they take over a ship and they just start killing motherfuckers. And
you think that's based on it right there?
Well, no, because it happens a lot earlier. But I think because Euron Greyjoy is not really a big part of the books. It's more Victarion Greyjoy.
Yeah.
But I think they had to like combine the 2 characters into one, and now we get to see that Euron is nobody to fuck with. You know what I mean? Comes on a ship, he just starts hacking and slashing motherfuckers.
Yeah, he is no joke, man. That character.
But hold on a second.
Damn.
Didn't he get stabbed by one of the Sand Snakes?
Yeah, he did. He did.
They poison their fucking tips like their father.
Well, I mean, maybe he can't die. Who knows? I mean, who knows? I mean, I thought for a second he was gonna get killed at the end there, but you know, he took motherfuckers out. That dude, he's one warring motherfucker. You know, and I was so upset with Theon, man. Like, what the fuck, man? You know, like,
you neuter a guy, dude. You cut his dick
I know,
off.
it's like you
can't
cut
say
his...
that because Grey Worm's nobody to fuck with. He got his dick cut off.
Yeah, you know, I thought there was a lot of dickless guys in this episode. You know, there's one guy eating a fucking. You know, he was like, she was like, "You're gonna be with me. You have to eat the pussy because you have no cock." You know what I mean? Well, so he got down on that. He was chopping away, and you know, it was like
the dickless guy getting questioned.
Wait, the what?
Episode started with Daenerys questioning a dickless guy.
That's what I'm saying. There was a lot of
insane.
A lot of dickless dudes in this episode, man. What the fuck's that all about?
Why question him now? You made him make this alliance, and now you're gonna question his allegiance.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Well, because you know he could like turn on her. So I mean, I understand in that sense.
I
love his response. He's like, I don't give a fuck about any of you rich cunts. Or any of you powerful cunts. I give a fuck about the regular people.
That was awesome, man. I love the big meeting there in the beginning. In Daenerys, in what's his name's castle, his old castle. Yeah, I mean they're all in his old castle. I don't like the fact that she's hooking up with the witch because that fucking scares me a little bit. With
yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? Because that bitch is nothing but bad news, and it just does not. I don't like it. It just
wait, I have a question
you know.
for Filthy. I'm sorry to like cut you off, but like I don't read the books or anything like that. But how similar are the books to the show?
Well, you're way beyond. Right now, you're way beyond the books. This is all new shit.
Yeah, this is all. They said that in the beginning.
This is uncharted territory.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of differences in the books. A lot of characters that are omitted in the show. I mean, giant characters.
Yeah.
Characters that. I mean, there's one character that's omitted that I could pretty much tell you right now. There's no way she's going to be in the show. But if I spoil it, I don't give a fuck.
No, don't spoil it. I mean,
no, because she's not going to be in the show. There's no way she's going to be in the show already. There's a character, Lady Stoneheart.
Yeah.
And Lady Stoneheart.
They thought for a while she was going to be in it. You know.
Right. Well, she's definitely not going to be in it now. But Lady Stoneheart is Catelyn Stark brought back to life.
Yeah, and she's all like living dead type shit.
And you know Beric Dondarrion, the guy with the patch on his eye.
Yeah.
He gives up his resurrection. He gives his own life to resurrect Catelyn Stark. And Catelyn Stark, since her vocal cord's been cut, she's like, the way they explain it, she talks like this.
Yeah.
So she's the head of the Brotherhood without banners in the books.
He's always been a cunt.
There's Tyrion Lannister talking about his father. He was. I can't believe they fucking captured what's her name from Dorne. Like. That's fucked up, man. Now
I know all these names. I can't remember how.
They're gonna bring her ass back to Cersei. Cersei's gonna fucking now, like, just Cersei. She's got no fucking.
Lara? I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was the dude. Now she's gonna meet the what's his name? That fucking mummy that Cersei has.
Oh, fucking
walking,
mountain. Well,
yeah, fucking walking mountain.
In the book, his name is Sir Robert Strong.
Yeah.
They never use that name in the show. But
that dude looks like Jason from Friday the 13th.
Winter is coming.
It looks just like Jason.
Yeah, right.
Is underneath that mask, like she's fucking
like 3 times the size.
Yeah. Yeah, he is 3 times the size. He's one big beefy fuck, man. So like everything is coming together now as far as the storyline as setting up for this, like the last 2 seasons. Like you're seeing the sides being picked right now and that whole shit, and we're gonna finally see Jon Snow meet the Queen.
Oh my god!
That's gonna be. Everybody's been waiting for that.
Fucking Sansa's a fucking big mouth.
She is, and once she heard that she was gonna be king when Jon, goes away to go meet them, she had this look, on her face like, yeah, when you come back, I'm taking the whole fucking thing from you anyway. And Littlefinger, that fuck, I don't trust that dick either. You know what I mean?
I'm glad that Jon grabbed him by his fucking throat. Like, who the fuck do you think you are?
I love Ladyfinger.
Yeah.
Ladyfinger?
I mean, oh my god, you hear me? Oh my god.
Ladyfinger.
Ladyfingerling. I guess.
Already finger blasting yourself after the show?
Ladyfingerling.
We haven't even
come on, man. Oh, fuck, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. but I like how they're setting everything up and they're getting it like going as far as setting up the last 2 seasons here. There you go, Fingerling. I love
Little Finger.
Little Fingerling. Yeah, Little Finger is a piece of shit, so I don't like that whole situation either. That scares me because it's like, when John's gone, he's going to fucking try to, pull some shit, You could guarantee that. And I love how Ari found out that her brother took the North and now is king. Took back fucking Winterfell.
She's going to miss him now, though, because he's going to be all the way down. Unless they cross paths.
Well, I mean, you never know, man. You never know. But she was headed to Westeros to go kill fucking Cersei.
I got all misty-eyed. Was that her wolf or wasn't it wolf?
It
said it wasn't her.
It was.
No, but she said at the end, she goes, it wasn't her.
No?
Yeah, she said that. I don't know if she meant it really wasn't her, but like this is what kind of like half a fairy I am. Like when it comes to the wolves, for some reason, I get all misty-eyed. I love the wolves, dude. The wolves, like, is one of my favorite characters in the whole fucking show. The goddamn.
Well, in the books, the wolves were like really like had a lot to do with everything, and they were constantly there,
Well, I was talking with my family at a barbecue yesterday. We were talking about like dogs that we had in our and how I've cried harder for my dogs than I ever had for human beings. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I asked my aunt, because she has, where you used to work, Ken? Like it has the dog cemetery over there.
Yeah, yeah.
My aunt has one of her dogs in there, and I asked her straight out. I said, "Have you visited your dog's grave more than you visited your own grandparents?" She goes, "Yeah, fucking A, I have."
That's crazy. Usually we bury our dogs in the fucking backyard. Throw them in the backyard. Oh,
Pay $60 for
as I look at my dog.
Poor baby. When you get a dog, you're purchasing a small little fucking like not so happy ending. Things gonna die on you and everything. It's like the inevitable.
So happy ending.
Not so happy ending. I'd rather have an happy ending than that. But so what else we got going on? Samuel Tully was trying to help out Jorah, yeah. So
yeah. Oh my god, I was cringing during that whole like.
Oh yeah, he did that good, man.
Slicing him. Oh,
that actor he did a hell of a part on that last part, where he was screaming and stuff, because he just showed, and it was pretty nasty how they fucking, faded into the other scene of that guy eating that fucking like chicken pot pie or some shit. It was so fucking. They always do that on Game of Thrones. They always like merge into something fucking nasty from something nasty, But
There's a lot of nudity in this episode. There's usually a lot of nudity in this episode.
Sunday had a pair of tits on her, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah.
She had a nice set of tits. Let me tell you something. Grey Worm must eat a pussy like nobody's fucking business. He's gonna have to.
Yeah, he's gonna have to, man.
Got fucking dick, dude. You better eat pussy.
He's got to perform.
Better than a fucking lesbian.
Yeah, he's got to perform. What about the big ass dragon fucking harpoon and the skull? That part was pretty sick with Cersei down there, and that fucking witch doctor with her, showing her, hey, we got something for you.
If you remember, we've seen that skull before, and Arya hidden that skull in the first season. Yeah. You remember in the first season she was down in the dungeons.
Yeah,
and she
I remember.
Listening to Varys have a conversation with I can't remember his name, and she hidden that skull, Balerion the Black Dread.
Yeah.
But that's the guy you're talking about, the witch doctor's Qyburn.
Yeah.
He's a fucking he's a conniving cunt, and he was thrown out of.
He was thrown out of he was thrown out of that. He wasn't allowed to be what Samuel Tully's training to be right now.
Because he experimented with like dog shit.
Yeah.
Like bringing somebody back to life, like the Mountain, and doing like a Frankenstein thing.
Yeah, exactly what he did. Yeah.
Well, those weapons that
that's exactly what that guy is, Frankenstein. You're right, man.
Right.
That's
crazy.
What
he is, man.
Yeah, basically.
But that weapon, I don't know what there's a name of it in medieval times, but it's like a giant crossbow, basically.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Did you see The Hobbit?
Oh my god, I was thinking that actually. Now that you said it,
it's the same weapon that takes down the dragon in The Hobbit. It's the fucking same thing.
I also love the fucking, that part where basically when all them. In the beginning of the episode, they were all there together meeting in that castle, like I said, and just to see all the characters that were in that castle going around, the grandmother from the the queen who's dead now.
Lady.
And like just to see all them coming together, and you have a Lannister there, you know, which a lot of them don't trust already.
Never trust the Lannister.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, it was a very good episode too, man. I gotta say, you know, I think it was fucking damn good. But they're really setting shit up right now on the show, man. Right off the bat, they're going with like these big storylines, like just merging it all together. But nobody expected that. What happened to the Greyjoys? Like nobody expected that, you know.
No, I mean, fucking Theon, man. What the fuck?
I can't believe, you know, what happened was he's psycho ever since fucking what's his name, Bolden, whatever his last name is. What's that guy's name?
Oh, Ramsay Bolton.
Ramsay Bolton, yeah. Since he fucking castrated him and tortured him and.
But I think it goes back to even longer than that. I think he's fucked up ever since Ned Stark took him as a boy as his fucking ward and took him from his family. I think that fucked up his head a little bit. You know what I mean? Because.
Oh Ned Stark, but back then he was it didn't look like he was a pussy back then. He was a confident dude. You know what I mean? He was Well, he had that chip on his shoulder that he could never be a Stark, even though he would hang out with the brothers and be treated like one of them. He could never be them. Yeah. And that's why he had a chip on his shoulder and went to take Winterfell later on. Yeah, which was a really messed up thing where they had the kids and
that was fucked. Yeah, that was dark.
That was crazy.
The show is dark as fuck.
It really is. It is a dark show, man. I mean, that's what makes it partially great is that they're not afraid to like push boundaries, and you know they constantly show women on women, men on men, and you know what I mean. They like just do everything. They don't care.
They just don't care.
Yeah, it's just everything now. You know, you look at the shows on HBO now, and the shows that were on there in the 80s when we were kids. It's so different now. It's like so graphic and just, you know, literally when you watch one of these shows, you got to be like, kids, you got to go to bed. You know, you cannot have a kid in the room watching one of these shows. Like, absolutely not. You know?
Yeah, man, those people with their like bodies naked, damn, I wish I could look like that.
Well, yeah, everybody on these fucking shows is gorgeous, you know?
I was thinking Theon's your type, Tiffany, that twink type. But he's got to have a dick, obviously. But that scrawny type. That you like.
I was hoping.
I'm gonna call him Lady Fingers now because that's his name.
Lady.
But no,
I was hoping they showed him.
He's totally my type. I loved him in The Wire. Oh my god.
Oh right, when he played the mayor of Baltimore.
Like
I was hoping that they showed the Unsully. You know, when he was pulling down his pants. I was hoping that they showed like a dude who looked like he had his schlong tucked in down.
He looked like a Ken doll.
Yeah, that's like I was hoping they would show that. You know what I mean? Because it looked like they were going to go for that. And I was like,
the same thing.
I was like, oh, here they go. They're going to do this. They're actually going to do this. You know, like, but no, we got to see him eating out of a vagina. You know,
Sunday, you got to give. You think that was a body double from behind? Her body double?
I don't think so, man. I think she's just.
I mean, that was really her tits.
Yeah.
But God bless her, because when gravity takes over that body, it's not going to look like that anymore.
I'll tell you what. Like going back to that meeting again early in the beginning when the imp laid down the plans in front of them on that table, that map. When he laid down the plans and they were all like, well, you're going to use our armies? Why did you bring your own? Which did seem a little screwed up in the episode. You know, you were like, okay, they're using them to get to the crown. Cronin, hey, shout out to you. But it looked like she was going to, what was cool about it was he basically dangled taking House Lannister in front of them like, check it out. We're going to put you guys not storming the castle, but you guys are going to get to take down House Lannister. And he knew,
Casterly Rock.
Yeah, dangling it in front of them, he knew that every single one of them couldn't stand his sister and his brother and the family in general, you know? But it looks like those plans are pretty fucked up now because, they were supposed to, they don't even have boats anymore. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm psyched. I've been itching to see Casterly Rock because you always hear about it. Even in the books, you never really visit it. And now we're going to get to see it.
Yep, finally.
You saw every other place pretty much on the map, and that's like the last one.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who cannot wait to see that, man. You know what I mean? Like, they cannot wait to see Casterly Rock. Like you said, it's been talked about a million times on fucking how many episodes, you know? And it's like, you're finally going to get to see it now, finally. I wonder what it's going to look like, you know? Did they ever show it in any of the books? No, right?
I mean, if you go online, I'm sure
you can find. Yeah, I have looked. I saw it. I saw it on the map. It is online, but who knows if that's the actual thing they're going to use? You know what I mean? Because
it used to sit on like a giant gold mine, and that's how the Lannisters became rich.
Yeah.
And I think they ran out of gold. They just mined it all out. But you always hear about it. You know, Tywin and fucking all that shit.
Yeah.
That whole story that he told about the fucking Reigns of Castamere and all that shit.
Now, that's all Lannisters there, right? Like all the
right.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Well, it's like every family has their capital.
Yeah.
Like the Lannisters of Casterly Rock, the Baratheons of Storm's End. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they all have their little fucking thing. That's another place we haven't seen. We probably never see that. Where the Baratheons, Storm's End, you're never going to see that place. But
oh, not anymore.
Maybe
no.
it'll be a spin-off, maybe.
Yeah. Well, there is going to be a couple of them. You know, they already announced it.
It's Robert's Rebellion. I really hope it's Robert's Rebellion. I really do.
I think they said that it's not going to be. I think I already heard that they said they're not doing that, but I would love to see that too, man. I hope you're right. But
shit, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I would love to see that.
With this show.
I want to see Jon Snow,
Aegon the Conqueror.
Yeah, that I would love to see. That would be. You know, I want to go back to where they were, like how they told the old stories around the campfire type thing. I want to go back to what, like those stories you would hear about when dragons were all over the place, and that would be a cool spin-off, like, you know, hundreds of years before this, you know?
Yeah, that'd be very interesting.
But the Iron Throne was actually made by the dragon melting the swords together.
Yeah, man. You know, you hear about all that shit. This show is great in the sense of the background and this world that was built, and a lot of people compare it to, you know, Star Wars in the sense of the world that was built around Star Wars. But we were talking about this on our regular show. We think that Game of Thrones is like fast moving past Star Wars.
But I'll give you the reason why though. Like I have a reason why. It's and you know me, man. I'm fucking diehard Star Wars.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah.
But this is why Game of Thrones, for me, has moved past Star Wars. Because Star Wars, you pretty much have, here are the good guys, here are the bad guys. The good guys have blue and green lightsabers, bad guys have red lightsabers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't really have gray areas. You don't have people that stand in the middle. You have a couple characters, Boba Fett's kind of like that, shit like that. But there's a lot more nuance in Game of Thrones. You can't really say this guy is a total scumbag, fuck him, because 2 seasons from now, there's going to be a character arc where you're like, oh, like Jaime Lannister.
Yeah.
Look at the arc of his character.
Oh,
it's fucking crazy, dude.
It really is, yeah.
It really is amazing. And,
it is.
And the writer explained that whole arc. George R. R. Martin explained that arc. Because you remember, like, when you first meet Jaime, he throws Bran out the window. And
what I'll do for love.
He goes, that act is fucked up. He goes, but now think about what was on the line. He goes, if he doesn't throw him out the window, Bran goes down and he tells Ned, which tells Robert. So Robert's going to kill Cersei. He's going to kill Jaime. He's going to kill all his children. Yeah. He goes, so with all that on the line, would you now be easily able to not throw him out the fucking window? He goes, it's not so easy now, is it? Yeah. And I'm like, you know, that's brilliant fucking writing.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It is. And you know what? You know, a lot of the credit goes to R.R. Martin, but really there's other writers on this show as well that write these episodes.
Well, now especially.
Yeah, but they're taking from what R.R. Martin did, you know what I mean, what he did, which, you know, you could work the credit all the way back to the originator of it because he built this whole, you know, world that is insane. But the writers right now are, man, they're doing a great job. Like, literally, they're on fire, these guys, because this show just satisfies every time you watch it. It's a lot different than a lot of other shows. It's much different in the sense of it gives you what you want per episode. Like, you want to have some final shit. Like, I want to know what the fucking end of that situation is. And some of those shows just never deliver on that. They you know, you never get that.
You always leave that cliffhanger.
Yeah, you know, and it's like, but I mean, they do leave you with cliffhangers in this,
but it's not.
It's not. Yeah, it's also satisfying in the same sense.
It's not,
you know?
Walking Dead cliffhangers. Walking Dead cliffhangers is just ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it really is, like, big
time.
Like
the one 2 seasons ago where you didn't know what's his name killed. And you're like, dude, I gotta wait fucking 6 months.
I know.
Why don't you just fucking tell me, bro? Like, what the fuck?
Fucking ridiculous. I know.
And on spite, I said, you know what? Now I'm not gonna watch a show when it's on TV. I'm gonna wait till it's. You're not getting ratings from this fat ass.
You know what? I fell
that.
so fucking far out of Walking Dead. I can't do it no more.
I understand. I understand, man.
My wife still watches it religiously, and a lot of people in my family still watch it, but I just can't watch it no more. It just became like a repetitive thing. Like, okay, they're fighting with another group. Okay, fighting with another group. Fighting with another group. Yeah, they're always fighting with another group. You know what I mean? It's just like, when are we going to see the fucking living dead and the world being taken over and the whole, blah, blah, blah. But I don't even want to get into that show. Right now we're talking about the best fucking show on TV, Game of Thrones, and you're listening to the recap here on F.M.Network. We're going to recap
by the way,
every Sunday right after the show.
I noticed 2 things in the opening credits when they show the map.
What?
That are new. First of all, when they show King's Landing, they show like a skeleton of the Great Sept of Baelor, because she destroyed it last season. So now when it unfolds, you just see like the skeleton of it.
Yeah.
Like the second thing, and this is interesting, when it goes to the wall, right, and it pulls back,
yeah,
the water around the wall now is frozen. And that's how the White Walkers are going to come across. They're just going to walk on the frozen water, dude. I mean, if it
makes sense.
But like, how stupid is it that it's that easy?
Yeah, I
know.
It
is. It's like the little things you'll miss that are
the
so
great
important.
big wall. There's a great big wall blocking everything, but no, we're gonna walk right over the wall.
Oh,
finish.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No,
I was gonna go into something else. Go. Finish.
No, what I was gonna say is, one thing they didn't touch on in the show that they touch on in the books is the wall. It's not just because it's giant that it keeps the White Walkers out. It had magic in it. And it's the same magic that... Do you remember when Bran first was right before he met the Green Seer? And there was that... All the skeletons started coming out and attacking and shit.
Yeah, yep.
And when they tried to chase him into the fucking hole, they exploded from the magic.
Yep.
That's the same magic. It's the magic of the Children of the Forest. But when the Night King grabbed Bran's arm, it broke the magic. I think it broke the fucking magic in the wall, too. But they never mentioned the wall having magic in the show. They only mention it in the book. So I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I don't know how they're going to handle it.
Well, I mean, in previous episodes, you saw how they defended the wall. There was no magic in it. It was like, it was just regular. They would had weapons that were attached to the wall. We got Leah calling in right now, but it's not letting me accept her on here, the fucking Skype.
Alright, you try to mess with that. I just wanted to shout out our friend Salrax, who made our amazing background.
Yeah, thank you, man. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Shout out to him. Go check him out on Twitter. And
Salrax Entertainment. He usually comes into the chat, or you can message me and Ken, and we'll give you his information if you need any backgrounds.
Yeah, he's the man. Leah, it won't let me accept you in. I'm gonna call you right now on here if you're listening to us. Hold on, let me get her in here. I hope Samuel Tully doesn't get caught fucking doing what he's doing right now, because if he gets thrown out of there, I mean, it wouldn't make a difference anyway.
Well, he's going to have to leave at a certain point,
he's got those books, and
he can't just end at Old Town. Dude, he's got a fucking Valerian steel sword.
Yeah,
and he's
right
not
about that.
Use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was another thing we didn't touch on. His father meeting with Cersei.
Yeah, and he was kind of iffy on whether he wanted to be with Cersei or not, like, and that whole shit,
That's a perfect... All right, so that's a perfect character where we're talking about nuance. So you hear Randall Tully's a piece of shit, right? He fucking exiled Sam. Even when Sam met him, he was just treating him like a scumbag. But at the same time, he's got, like, almost honor, because he turned to Jaime, he's like, listen, I have a fucking oath to the Tyrells. Go fuck yourself.
Hey, I want to announce real quick, we got Leah from the Joe Cronin show, Joe Cronin's wife. What's up, Leah?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep,
hey.
Loud and clear. What's up?
Hi.
What's going on?
I had to call in because I was listening, and I heard you guys talking about ice around the wall.
Right.
If you keep watching, it looks like it's just clouds. Because
Is that what it is?
Yeah, there's been a ton of news stories on it, but if you keep you watch real closely, because I kept an eye on it tonight.
Okay, good. Thank God, because I was
as it pans away, you can see more of the water.
Good.
All right, good, because I don't want just the White Walkers.
Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, what? So the whole fucking wall and all this shit, and they're going to just walk across an ocean.
It's fun.
I mean, I don't want to, like, spoil stuff. I don't know how you guys are doing your show.
Yeah, I mean, you know, basically,
we're recapping it,
you know, if you're a diehard fan, you know, the diehard fans all know so much shit, you know, anyway, so I don't think it's so much a spoiler, you know what I mean?
Yo, if people watching the show right now and shit is gonna be spoiled, why the fuck are you watching?
Yeah, well,
sure.
If they're listening to it right now and you guys are listening to it not live right now, if you don't want to spoil anything, fast forward a little bit.
Okay, so it's not so much a spoiler as it's sort of like, I mean, if you could pick up on it in the first episode when John says he's sending the wildlings to that castle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the castle that's like over on that edge of the wall.
Right, Eastwatch by the Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're setting up for some shit going on there.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be, I just don't think it would be so easy for them to just walk around. And I heard you guys talking about like the magic and stuff like that with like Bran. I was trying to call in at the time, so I didn't hear if you mentioned it. But Bran being marked
Yeah.
by the Night's King. Yeah, so I mean, I feel like there is magic and everything put into the wall. I feel like if they went through all the trouble of building this giant ass wall, when they know the water freezes, would have been pointless.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said, what's the sense of the fucking wall?
The show,
you know? I said, what's the sense of the fucking wall? Why would, you know, because that would just ruin the wall, you know?
Right.
So hopefully, yeah, it's just clouds.
I feel like it's come down.
Yeah,
like,
it's got to. It would be disappointment if it doesn't.
Especially with, and I think this might have been another little bit of foreshadowing too, when Sam is in the Citadel and he's talking with the old guys, they're cutting up the body, and he's like, the wall has stood for this, the wall has stood for that, the wall has stood for this. It's kind of like putting it up so much, you know, that it's kind of like,
Yeah, you're right about that. Yep.
Yeah, they act like we're all so smart, we know everything, but we're going to take this for granted. Like, it's like, guy, just
I know.
anything could happen.
Yeah.
Dragons were just extinct, and now there's 3 of them.
And
so
now
and
now when they were meeting with Cersei, she was like, you know, they got 3 dragons, and he was like, well, it took fucking what's his name, three dragons to take over.
Aegon,
yeah, you know what I mean. So it's kind of like history is repeating itself, you know.
yeah, there's definite parallels.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think of this episode, Leah?
I liked it. I was waiting the whole episode for that sea battle because I was like, it's got to be this episode. It's got to be because the previews for like that they released during that Comic-Con. Oh, Joe's yelling at me now. He's like, "Oh, spoilers! You should have watched it."
seriously, who gives? If we spoil for you, go fuck.
Oh, he's watching the wrestling right now, right?
Yeah, he can't watch because he's doing his wrestling thing.
Yeah,
you know, so like he can't. I'm gonna watch it again with him later. So, but yeah, He's trying to yell. I don't know if you caught that.
We did a little. We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it was an action-packed episode, especially at the end. That battle was pretty cool. How what's his name came down on that fucking arm on the boat. That was pretty sick, man.
Yeah,
I'm impressed with that dude. I'm impressed with him now. You know, I don't like him, but he's a motherfucker.
He's crazy in the books. That's what is so disappointing last season when we only saw him a little bit, and it's like, man, his character's like, you know, like way more than what they're giving him, and finally now they are.
Now you see it, man.
I said before in the beginning of the show, I don't know if you heard me, but that I think they took Euron and they mixed his character with Victarion in the books, because Victarion is a huge character that's missing in the show, and I think they mixed the two.
Yeah, I think so too.
And there's I don't want to say it because it may still show up. I think it would be stupid. But when Euron last week said, "I'm going to bring you back a present," I don't want to say what I thought it was going to be because it might ruin something. But
I know what you're talking about.
Victarion has something in the books that would change everything. And thank God that wasn't the present, because I thought it would have been stupid if it was. Because I
thought he was going to go and get Tyrion.
That's what I was thinking.
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah. I thought that, or this other thing that I don't want to mention because it would fuck things up. It's there hasn't been, in my opinion, there's not one episode in the show that I said, "Oh, that episode sucked." Not one.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I would definitely agree with that too.
I mean, there's obviously some episodes are way better than others, but there's never an episode that's bad where I'm bored.
Yeah, I don't remember thinking that too. You know, like, and there's been some really good shows that I've watched where I'm like, once in a while, I'm like, that one wasn't that good. Yeah, I don't really say that with Game of Thrones, you know?
There are some conversations, like when Tywin talked with Olenna, shit like that, like where I could sit there, I could listen to them talk for hours. Because they're just fucking, it's like a chess game with their shit.
I was actually a little surprised to see her in Dragonstone. I thought for sure she was back in Highgarden.
Well, she was, but they kind of like, they fast forward time now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, there's talk about, you know, this and that on Highgarden and stuff like that. So, like, I was like, oh, no, like, Olenna. And so, like, I'm sitting here thinking, like, that's what's going on. So now I'm, like, rethinking things. Because it's like, oh, is she going to stay in Dragonstone or is she heading back there?
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Who's holding Storm's End? Anyone?
Nobody. That's a big issue that people have.
Yeah, whatever happened
and they had
with
it
that?
with Dragonstone, too.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, right.
That was definitely weird. Yes, I agree.
It would have made more sense for Daenerys to go to Storm's End, but symbolically going back to, you know, again, playing the parallels. Dragonstone is where the Targaryens set up their stronghold when they left Valyria.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
And it's also, it's where she's born, and now we've got this shit with the dragon glass. So it's like, it made sense for it to happen, but logically, really shouldn't have. Nobody's in Storm's End. It's not the only. I mean, it happens to keeps where they get like fucked up or stuff happens and they don't do anything with them. But I mean, it's been vacant for a very long time.
Yeah, what the hell?
And just as backstory, Ken and Tiffany, the reason this castle is called Storm's End is because there would be major storms in that area, and they kept building castles, and they would never fucking hold up to storms. And they finally built this castle. I forget who exactly built it, but it held up to this major storm, and that's what. But wait, isn't there a battle at Storm's End in the book? Towards the end of Dance with Dragons, they land in Storm's End and attack it. I'm talking about the.
Oh, in the book.
Yeah. Well, there's a character who proclaims that he's a Targaryen, but he's not.
I don't know if is it Storm's End. I don't
thought
remember.
It was. I could be wrong. I haven't read that book in a couple of years now. But
I feel like reading the books now.
Oh, let me tell you something. The shortest book, I think, is 800 pages.
Oh my god.
That's the shortest one.
Jesus.
And I would have never thought I would ever have the patience to read a book like that. And I read fucking 5 of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's worth it with the way he writes.
Yeah,
R. Martin is like, he's just he's unbelievable. I mean, the amount of shit that's in this, it's better than Star Wars for me now. The world, the surrounding world behind it, and just the in-depth shit. You know, it's just can't beat it.
Before any Star Wars geeks out there get aggravated, calm down. You know what I mean? I still love Star Wars.
Yeah, I love Star Wars too, but this world is starting to be better than the Star Wars world. Honestly, to me, I mean, I know there's some people that are diehard. You know?
It's a lot more rich in history.
Yeah.
And nuance.
That's the part that I love the most, is the history behind all this shit. The campfire shit. You know what I mean? That's what I said to you guys before. I like the background, the surroundings of it. It just because you could sit there and you could think for hours. And let me tell you something, just studying the map, the official map of Game of Thrones, of everything that's been put on the show so far, and that's not even counting what you're going to see in the next 2 seasons. Like we were talking before, you're going to finally see where the Lannisters live and, you know, Casterly Rock, all that shit. You're going to see that shit. And that's like some deep shit, because I know I've sat there for hours looking at the map and going, oh shit, that's cool, because this is connected over here, and this is just the map alone is fucking awesome to look at. And
yeah, oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? There's so much interesting shit and interesting characters built behind the series. It's fucking amazing. But
I looked it up if anyone wants to know about the Aegon stuff.
Yeah, what?
Look ahead.
Yeah.
At the end of the book, they had gone to Griffin's Roost, which is near there, with plans to take Storm's End. And then
who's holding Storm's End? Does it say who's holding it? I would think it's Baratheons, but who's left in the Baratheons? No one.
Not anymore.
I don't see anywhere if who they're fighting. or who they said they would take it from. But then there's also there's a little bit of information because of a Winds of Winter chapter that was actually released.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, I remember this. Yeah, I remember that.
I only read 2 of those chapters released. He probably released more than that.
It's like it takes so long for these books to come out. I've read them all, and I've read all the extra chapters and stuff like that, but I'm still like drawing a blank on stuff because I feel like it's been so long.
Can you believe that all this?
Get on a paleo diet soon. 'Cause I don't want to fucking
Can
die
you
before
believe
he's-
though? Yo, but listen to
Right.
me, man. They were saying that he has so much shit that he already did already. Like, so there's so much shit that he still hasn't released that he's already written. You know, I mean,
Well, was it today or yesterday? He wrote on his blog that he's got 2 more books, one of which I believe is mostly, if not complete, that's chronicling the arrival of Aegon in Westeros up to one of the other Aegons. But then there's going to be a second book that goes from that Aegon to the Robert Baratheon battle type stuff, and that hasn't been written yet. But it's like, stop writing books.
Right,
Just write the one we want.
It's
Yeah,
like, George,
exactly.
Listen,
Yeah.
Winds of Winter, A Dream for Spring. That's all you have to fucking worry about, are those 2 fucking books. Then you can start sailing off into the sunset with other shit.
yeah.
You know, I have a bad feeling about it, man. I have a bad feeling about something bad's gonna happen to him, and we're gonna get fucked. I really do. Like,
I mean, you never
hope I'm
know.
wrong.
You never know.
Say that.
If something happens to him, I mean, we're gonna get the books. It's too big for those publishing companies to not come out. If he dies, somebody's gonna step in and write him.
Yeah,
it's not
without
gonna
a
be
doubt.
the same.
Yeah.
They're gonna be done, and he has. I gotta imagine he has notes and stuff and everything else. So maybe it's the same thing that happened with like Tolkien. His son took over and wrote a bunch of stuff that
Well, yeah. What
I
was
think
the
his
name?
son, Silmarillion, I think is what he
Silmarillion,
finished.
right.
Yeah, and so like I mean, there's gonna be somebody that steps in and takes over should he die. But I want him to do it. Like I like his writing. It's not gonna be the same.
Yeah, let me tell you something. You don't want to read George R.R. Martin's books if you're on a diet, because when he starts talking about food, he'll take 3 pages talking about fucking food. He'll fucking describe shit. Your dick will get hard. Your mouth will start watering. You're like, oh, this motherfucker, man. Like when he talked about the feast at Joffrey's wedding, holy shit.
Oh
It was
yeah,
like
with like the way he
forced
described the
shit.
food and the ale and the yeah.
God, that scene.
That dude, he's just that. The guy's just. All of this comes from one fucking. Not the show, obviously, but all of the books come from one man's mind. Is crazy, you know.
And he said that he thought of writing, I guess you can call this science fiction, but when I say science fiction, I think of like futuristic shit like Star Wars. But because he lived on the water in Jersey, and he used to be able to look over to New York City, and he used to just fantasize, like, what's going on over there? You know what I mean? Like, and he would write stories of shit what's going on. That's what started him writing stories and shit like this.
Well, thank God we got a little taste of that. I'll tell you that for sure.
I know.
You know.
I know. And thank God HBO picked the fucking show. If it wasn't for HBO, I wouldn't even know about this shit.
Well, like I told you, man, HBO 9:00 Sundays is a sacred time. They always have fucking hit shows, even though it took like Game of Thrones like a season and a half to really like blow up totally. This is it. This is like another one of those fucking shows that just is the #1 thing out right now, you know? And it's always 9:00 on fucking HBO for some reason. They're just really good. All right, you know what? We're going to bounce. We don't want to go too long on this. Leah, thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. Thank
you
God
for
you came
having
by.
me.
You fucking know your shit, and Filthy knows his shit, so it was cool to hear you guys. And we'll be talking with you soon. Thank you.
Definitely. Bye.
All right, we'll talk to you. Filthy, thanks for coming, and thank God we had you for the show, man. You know your shit about it, you and Leah.
There's
and
other
Tiff-
shit I don't know anything about. There's a lot of shit I don't know anything about.
Well, at least you know something about this.
Geeky
'cause
shit I know about.
That's what we're here for today, the Game of Thrones.
And I know about eating fucking bombs,
Oh,
too.
Jesus
I know
Christ.
about-
Tiffany, thank you for stopping by, too,
Slaying
Tiff.
Pussy.
Tiffany, the great Tiffany from That Ass Podcast. Go check her out every Thursday at 9:00. And we also got the Joe Cronin Show. That was Leah Cronin. Go check them out every single night for wrestling, for all kinds of stuff monetized this Friday nights. And go check out Joe Cronin Show. Check out everything that he does. He's awesome. Shout out That Ass Podcast, everybody else. Guys, thanks for joining us. If you're listening to us for the first time, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, please. And if you like hearing what we did, Come back next week after. We're going to be talking Game of Thrones, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for coming.